Hey guys, what's up? It's JR Cuber. The WeiLong GTS is a modification of the ever-popular WeiLong, Moyu's second ever 3x3 release. The WeiLong was arguably the best cube of its time, and was the cube used to break the 3x3 world record average of 6.54 seconds, which as of recording this video still stands today. So will this cube be able to fill the big shoes left for it? So to quickly cover the bases, the WeiLong GTS is $17 from Thecubicle, is just a hair under 57mm, and yes, still features the ever popular squared off corner design. And say what you want about squared off corners, you guys know how I feel about it. They do completely prevent corner twists. But anyways, let's move on. The mechanism of the GTS is actually far different than what I would have expected. The edges are simpler with no little flares protruding out of the side, and a now more diamond-shaped edge base rather than the oval-shaped one of the original. The corners have even more drastic changes. Gone is the wide, curvy stock and small base of the original corner. Now we have a flat, skinny stock with a larger base, along with a bunch of tracks and a corner cap, rather than a 2 or 3 piece assembly based on what version you have. So what do these changes mean for turning? Well, the GTS pretty much feels nothing like the WeiLong V1 and 2. The cube is light and crispy, but primarily too airy and very unstable. What made the WeiLong so great was that it was a super solid feeling cube. It was chunky and durable, felt like it could take anything you threw at it. It got that feeling because the pieces fit together without empty space. The cube was completely solid. The GTS feels floppy because of its airy design, and I just don't think it compares at all to the original. The cube is also really fast, which is reminiscent of the original, and while some people may like that, I find the cube a bit hard to control. I could always slow it down with lube, but I don't like my puzzles feeling gummy. I prefer them to just glide without much help from the lube. It's one of the big reasons why I still love my WeiLong so much. It's not that fast, but it fits my turning speed really well without having to fill it up with lube. But maybe this cube isn't a lost cause yet. Maybe its performance will make up for its lackluster turning. The corner cutting is perfectly adequate and up to par with today's standards. Obviously the cube doesn't pop. What cube really does these days anyway? But as has been a consistent problem with the squared off corner design is catching. And it upsets me to say that this cube catches far more than most. And why? Because it's unstable. An obvious comparison would be with the Yuxiao, which really doesn't lock that much at all. And why is that? Because the cube is extremely stable, and like I said in my review, it might be the most stable puzzle I've ever used. Why is it stable, you may ask? Because the cube is solid, it doesn't have much empty space, and it doesn't have an overly complex design. That's where I think the GTS failed. It doesn't know what it wants to be. The original WeiLong was simple, it was streamlined, and it was elegant. The GTS, on the other hand, is kind of a big mess. It's trying to incorporate new trends with old designs by modifying them to make them hopefully perform better, but really those cubes were better off left alone. This cube once again shows that all these new 3x3s really aren't getting better, and in my opinion, it may be starting to go downhill and in the opposite direction. Really, once and for all, I think it's time to stop with the 3x3s. There are so many options now that I just don't think there's any need for more. Where I think these companies really need to move is more into the big cube market. I would love to have just as many options for 4x4, 5x5, especially 6x6, and 7x7 as we do for 3x3s. There's still lots of work to be done in that department, so I don't know why companies are still focusing so much on 3x3s. My main is still the WeiLong V2, an almost 2-year-old cube, and despite what I said in my Yuxiao review, I still think the WeiLong is better. Anyways, what I'm trying to say, and I've said it many times before, is that this cube is pretty much pointless. While I still think it's a good cube, it's just not that great, and I just think this is another one that just isn't worth buying. That's all I've got to say on the WeiLong GTS. If you would like to purchase this cube, the link will be in the description as always. Thanks to Thecubicle for making this video possible. If you like this video, give it a like, and if you haven't already done so, like my Facebook page, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, and of course subscribe. Thanks for watching guys, bye.